Okay, you good, huh?
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. This lesson just going to go into don't lighten up, tighten up. You know, in this struggle and in this crash course of faith, we gotta stay close knit, man. We got to stay tight. That's the nature of a sheep, alongside of, you know, on the opposing end of a nature of a predator, so to speak. A sheep is always close knit. You know, they understand the area of travel. You know, whether which is always being led by the shepherd. You know. And they're always in close arm's distance from each other because they're all about being in an area of safety. So it's the same thing with us brothers in the faith of Yahweh Shema Shah. We have to stay close. We have to stay tight because the spiritual demon Satan, he's looking to slither in as the serpent. Just like during the time of Adam, Satan slithered in. Just like during the time of Samson, Solomon, David. Satan always came through the cracks and crevices. So Satan is going to also likewise going to try to come in these times. But what can help us prevent from the spiritual demon Satan conquering our minds is staying tight, man. Staying on our P's and Q's, keeping our minds from idleness. You know, you have that saying that idleness is the devil's playground. So you don't want to be idle-minded. You don't want to be strayed away from the body too far. You always want to be in the radius or in the nucleus of Yahweh Shema Shah. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the scriptures and you know, build accordingly.
I got which one to grab first.
You want to
that Hebrews.
Amen.
Yep.
It's Hebrews 3:11. It says, "So I swear in my wrath, they shall not enter into my rest."
So the Lord said He swear in His wrath that they shall not enter into my rest. Who is they? Israel. 2/3 of Israel, especially during the time of which is Paul is referencing during the time of Egypt, them leaving Egypt, they had got killed off, the old generation. Why? Because they were following the fragment of idols when they were in Egypt. You know, they followed the idols. They was following the mindset of Egypt, even though they left Egypt. So the Lord said He swore in His wrath that they want to enter into His rest, which the rest will be the chosen land. Continue.
Verse 12. Take heed, brethren, lest there be lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief.
So it said, take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief. And that can happen, man. That's why Paul said that distinctly. And he said it aggressively, so to speak. He said it as a forewarning for the men in the faith at that time, and for the men that will come into the faith in the latter days to take heed. So that we going into it, it says, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief. And that word heart goes into the Hebrew word la. What puts evil mind of unbelief within you? The spiritual demon Satan, man. Playing on your thoughts, you know, making you feel like everything that you're doing is in vain. You know, the brothers beside you feel a certain type of way about you. They don't really want you to prosper. You know, your apostles is you know, doing things for their own sake, not looking out for your self-benefit. Anything that has a story writing or a narrative that doesn't coincide with the spirit, that's the spirit of Satan, man.
You said,
yeah, you got it, bro.
1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour.
Right. So the spiritual demon Satan is looking for the unsober minds, the ones that lack vigilance, circumspection, and basically self-awareness, so that they could catch them off guard. And if you're off guard, that means you ain't on your watch. Right. Meaning what? You're not on your P's and Q's, man. You're not staying as keeping yourself aware. You're not using your self-awareness skills. You're not using the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah to actually get you out of these situations. You know, just like the nature of a light, the scriptures refer to us as the children of light. And when you look at the nature of light, it's a beacon. All right, whether it's a flashlight, whether it's a lamp, anything that you know, lamps in the houses and things of that nature. You know, anything that projects energy, it doesn't project it in one direction. It's constantly pushing and pulsating through all directions so that light will be spread out so that you will have a visual clarity. And that's how you got to be in this truth. That's why this light has to be fully inside of you so that you won't be caught off guard in no way, shape, or form from the spiritual demon Satan playing on you, man.
That's right, bro.
When them spirits jump in your mind, guess what? You got to repel that with the word. All right? If somebody has something to say against you, against this truth, like the scriptures speak about the incredulity of them that don't believe, you got to know how to repel that with the word. If your family don't agree, you got to know how to repel that with the word. You can't let those thoughts seep into you and you scratch your head. Yeah, man, you know, you do got a point, you know. So it's, you know, am I really an Israelite? Got you questioning yourself? Nah, you shouldn't be in that mentality. You're supposed to know these scriptures. I know I'm, and you got to have confidence and faith in it. I know I'm an Israelite because it tells you that in Genesis 49, Deuteronomy 33, Deuteronomy 28. You know, all throughout the scriptures, I know without a shadow of a doubt, I believe through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah that I am. This is just a small example amongst many. Right. That I am an Israelite, and I'm walking according to that. I'm keeping the laws that it tells you in Deuteronomy 4 and 6. I'm teaching the people. I'm going out to the highways and byways, and I'm doing the work of an evangelist as a minister of the Lord. I'm staying on my watch because I believe wholeheartedly that the kingdom of heaven is for a particular people, and if we put our foot first, so to speak, our best foot forward, then we'll make it there, man. You know, you can't be in that. We're not in those times that you got to be in that wavering spirit, man, or that you should be in that wavering spirit, man. You know, your head down, doubtful. Brother always got to tap you like, bro, you good? You know, yeah, I'm all right. Nah, man. You got to show resilience. That's right. You got to show vigor, aggressiveness.
Like I say, that's why you know, Yahweh Shai is such an essential component of the truth, man. It all goes back to Yahweh Shai, right? I believe that's what Matthew's 7th chapter. We get a parable, all right? Roughly paraphrasing, you know, when he said it was a particular man that was, he had a house. It was a house that was built in a different, you know, the tempest came, the boisterous winds came, right. It moved, it blew upon a house and it fell not because it was founded upon a rock. Yeah. You know? So you gotta be founded upon that rock, which is Yahweh Shai, man. That's right. All right. We founded in Yahweh Shai. Nothing could take you out this truth, man. Not your family, not your job, not your woman, you know, or heck, Satan in general, man. You know, once you rooted and girded in Yahweh Shai, man, no type of opposition can come against you, man.
Nothing should be able to uproot you, like the brother said.
That's right.
Yeah. That's all that.
It says, take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief in departing from the living power. But exhort one another daily.
But do what?
But exhort one another daily.
One more time.
But exhort one another daily.
But exhort one another daily. This is a daily action. It shouldn't be one day out the week, one day every 2 weeks, one day out the month. This is an everyday thing. You wear these garments even when you're taking them off. When you take them off physically, they should be worn on a 24-hour basis, spiritually, constantly communing with the next brother. You know, whether you're with them, talking to them physically or not, you're talking to them through your prayers.
Yeah.
The actions that you actually are putting forward is for the sake of the body. It's for the sake of the ministry. You're not doing things on your own self-will. Yeah, I'm just trying to run it up so I can get me a nicer car. You know, give me a big boy, you know, Benz, so I can stuff for the chicks in Atlanta or Chicago, or Dallas, or California. Nah, you're doing certain things for the sake of benefiting the ministry of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. You making your daily sacrifices, putting your atonements on the altar so it can benefit Yahweh Shai's ministry. You want to say something? Or you
Yeah. Well, you know, Scripture says, "Be be an example to the believers.
That's right.
You know, because it's our job to as leaders and up-and-coming leaders. It's our job to lead the sheep and lead the flock in the right manner. You know, that's why for brothers to come together, that's a beautiful thing. Okay, that's where things like Psalms 133 and 1 come into play. You know, because it's not about looking the part or acting the part, like because there's been a big thing with these other Israelite groups of unity and making themselves, pushing themselves out there as look at us, we are, a unified, organized nation. When really, your everyday, day-to-day life, that should, like the brother was saying, that should show and exemplify your shot. For me to say, man, you know what? Yeah, man, that person's walking in wisdom. Okay, I'm gonna try it this way. Follow in that man's footsteps.
That's right.
And
it starts with the apostles and elders, man. They've been walking this truth for a number of years. They got kicked out of areas where they was preaching. When they were in the congregation of men, they got belittled, they got defamed.
Yep.
They were despised, amongst their peers, but they never let those things take them off the track. And the apostles will tell you first, it was years where they felt like this thing wasn't even blossoming how it was supposed to, man.
Right.
But did they deviate? Did they say, well, we can't be Israelites because the 144,000 by the time we pass, there ain't gonna be no 144,000 things of that nature. Right. Let's just go to Canaan, or let's just go to Black Conscious. I see it's a bigger platform and we can reach more people there. We're not reaching as much people as we can here. They didn't say none of those things. They held fast, and the Most High gave the increase. And it's the same thing now. The Most High is going to make it a boom again, man. But it's all about the brethren to hold fast and do that which is required and let the Most High give the increase. All right, just like Paul said, one man planted, another water, but Yahweh shall give it the increase. So that's what it's about. You got some more?
Yep. It says, but exhort verse 13, but exhort one another daily while it is called today.
While it's called today, because the day is going to change into a nightness, man. Darkness, like you have that movie, Darkness Falls. The day of Jacob's trouble.
The darkest hour.
Yeah, the darkest hour. Yeah.
the darkest mind.
And when it gets very, very dark, guess what? The ones that ain't got the light, the ones that haven't been fueling themselves upon the oil, they're going to be in darkness with the darkness of the world. Oh, it says the sun and the moon shall not give their light. But guess what? We that's been constantly pushing that oil within each other's vessel, we're going to be totally fueled in that day, man. We don't even know the magnitude of what the Lord is doing right now. We just going through the motions of it, and the spiritual motions and the actions. But when the Lord actually turns the heat up, we're going to see what we truly made of, man.
That's true.
Yeah. That's how we know the spiritual power is truly within. The kingdom is truly within. What you want to say?
The trial of faith.
Yeah, the trial of faith. What it said, much more precious than fine gold, though it perisheth. So we're going to really truly see how strong we are, but it starts now, man. It starts with that faith of a mustard seed, and with that little faith of a mustard seed, what we have to do, we have to cultivate it. We have to put it upon fertile ground. We have to constantly water it, nurture it, give it the sunlight of the word. Pray in the spirit of Yahweh Shah, then it gives us increase. So this thing is all about action. It's not just I'm an Israelite. I know the laws. I know about Yahweh Shah. I know the Most High's name. I know about the prophecies. It's not about those things that's half. No one, like the saying goes, no one is half the battle, but the action, the walk, the things that your daily sacrifices that you have to put forth. All those things entail if you're truly fully in it, or if you're just basically looking at it for the glory of things, man. You just whether you're just a fan that's just in the backdrop that's shouting and cheering, or if you're truly on the battlefield and warned, man. actually getting bruised up and beat up, battered, hit, you know, struggling to get that victory. That's two different seats, man. You know, that's two different energies that basically comes with the field of play, so to speak, right?
This is Romans 2:13. It says, "For not the hearers of the law are judged before the Most High, but the doers of the law shall be justified."
If you want to jump in any time, of course.
Come.
But it's like the scripture says, not the hearers of the law. So it's not about just hearing, you know, just listening to the word and just being some super sponge, you know, some super complex computer. You know, you got some brothers that got, you know, super memory hard drives, and they can just, you know, get a lot. But when it comes to the action, it's not there. So we gotta make sure that we taking full action when it comes to this word.
Just like you don't want to be in this thing just to say you was a part of something. Right. You know, like you got them guys out in IUIC. They only out there just to say that they were part of something. That they went to Memphis and they marched. Right. You know, but really in their spirit, they ain't fully invested in this work.
Yeah, right.
They ain't fully invested in this ministry. The Lord said He's gonna search Jerusalem with candlesticks. You know what I mean? He's gonna try to reign to the hearts and the minds of the people, man.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, He's gonna try you out, man. So like what the brother saying, you know, we gotta make sure that we got that spiritual deadbolt on, man.
Yeah,
you know, on spiritual life.
Yeah, and just to add to what the brother was saying, you know, men's true intentions are gonna be revealed. You know, the closer and closer we get, you know, are you in this thing just following a particular man because you like the way he breaks down the scriptures, and you know you see his life and how he's basically a beacon of light. Like, are you in it just to follow him, or is the word really resonating in you, and are you a follower of Yahweh Shai? Are you gonna see beyond that man? You know. So.
Yeah, I had some just and I'm gonna read this, but you know, of course, not gonna break it down. But this is something that brothers should really like seep into their brain, you know, their mind and their brain. They really try to get the understanding of what the Spirit is trying to say here. Right? This is Hebrews 10:19, and this is on holding fast to faith. All right, it says, "Having therefore, brethren, boldness to enter into the holiest by the blood of Yahweh Shai, by a new and living way." You know, and this is, you know, basically us having this truth and us saying, look, we're going to trust and believe in the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakodash, the Heavenly Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, through the Holy Spirit. Okay, having that boldness, you know, that zeal. Okay, it's kind of like a promise that we're going to do. Okay, right? So it says, by a new and living way, a new way, not that same way that we did, you know, not by the same mindset that we thought. Okay, but this is something that's been opened unto us and given to us to have us take advantage of the opportunity, okay? All right, and you know, to take hold and grasp in salvation as our birthright, really.
Yeah, that's why I said this.
You know?
This honor have all you saints. This is an honorable act. This is a noble act. So we gotta walk this thing like kings, man. This isn't a thing where you should feel like, well, people looking at me, you know, I'm not where I want to be. You know, I gotta wear these different rags. You know, I gotta look a certain way. You know, Scripture say we fool for Yahweh Shai's sake, but at the end of the day, in an internal position, you shouldn't look at yourself like a fool for Yahweh Shai, man. You should look at yourself like Yahweh Shai chose me to even partake in His. This is a glorious thing, man.
That's right.
Yahweh Shai, through all the things that He did for the sake of the nation, He actually allowed me to actually hear this word and actually understand it and preach it.
Oh, man. And then out of all of the spirits that He created, not even just the other nations, out of all the different Israelite spirits, you got You got billions of Israelites on the earth, and you got billions in the spirit world. And out of all of those people, we got it. You know, that's an honorable thing, man. Like what the brother said, man. And that's why, you know, just to back up your point, what brothers is pretty much going into is, hey, you got to be in it to win it, man. You know, you got to be locked in, man. You got to be giving this thing your all, man, and effort, man. Hey, you might have certain things going on in your life. Hey, find the time, man. Yeah, the time is there. You just got to find it. You know, that's one thing. That's one thing. I was talking to one of the brothers. You know, he was like, "Bro, how did you do it?" And I said, "You know, honestly, I find the time." I said, "Time ain't gonna find you in this truth. You gotta find it." You know, because you can let time slip. Next thing you know, you got an unproductive week on your hands. You know, so you gotta find the time to do it, man. It's there.
You have that saying that time is money, and you have that also. People know it as spending time. To spend time is a time. It's basically you actually, you know, giving your time away. 15 minutes here, 30 minutes there, 45 minutes there, 2 hours there. Bullshit. You throwing your time in the trash can. Was that Ephesians 5:15? That's what you think about?
No,
that's a good one. Also, redeeming the time.
Yeah, that is.
Because the scriptures speak about that, redeeming the time because the days are evil. The word redeem means to buy back. We got to repurchase our time and seek the Lord 10 times harder through actually taking ourselves away from all the bullshit. You know, all your bad investments, throw that in the trash can. This is the highest investment that you will ever be able to put your hands into. Paying attention to the word.
Right. I got you got real quick, man. You got it coming. Ecclesiastes 8:5. Whoso keepeth the commandments shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment.
The word discern goes into the look out of the circle, man. You actually breaking your time up, like, man. Majority of my time got to be towards this. Now you have time. Your time should be, just like the brother said, broken up into certain things. You got priorities. You got things that you mandatorily have to handle. But outside of that, you got leisure.
Yeah.
Scriptures speak about how wisdom comes by what? Opportunity and leisure. And your leisure time ain't your video game time. You know, Jacob spent 3 hours on a video game all day.
Right.
Netflix.
Yeah, bullshit.
Which ain't never wrong, you know.
Yeah.
Do whatever, but you got
make sure that the priorities set.
That's
you know,
right.
Have you been productive in the ministry today? Have you linked up? Have you fellowship? Okay, because you know, a fellowship is a big part of our culture, man. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
You know, that's a major part of our culture, man. Fellowship. We always fellowship. Okay, that's why even now, if you look in today's society, Jake always in some type of club, some type of you know, organization.
Congregation.
Yeah, because there's power within a congregation of anything. But the most powerful or potent congregation is being in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah. That's why the scriptures tell us. I think I walked in, y'all was reading about forsaking the assembly. That's why the scriptures tell you about that, not to forsake it, because this is a huge part of our culture, man.
Right.
Huge part, man. It is one of the most productive aspects of our culture. Is fellowshipping, man. That's why the scriptures tell you in Acts the 2nd chapter. It said they continued daily breaking bread. Daily. They tell you the disciples was around each other every day. You know, so it's an important part, and it can help with your growth. It helps with your if you low in the spirit.
Yeah.
You know, you down and out, and you get around brothers, they rejuvenate you. They give you, you know, they build your hope back up, build your faith back up. They get your spirit sparking. Okay, but like what the brother's saying, if you don't discern the time, next thing you know, you've been in the dragon's dungeon, riding away,
picking at your flesh,
and that's bad for you, man. Like, hey, brothers ain't in that spirit. Like, man, you gotta be around. Like, no, bro, you can hurt yourself by not being around, man, because you internalize everything. You don't have. The scripture say, "Woe to him that is not alone, for you have not another to pick him up." So then, when you be by yourself, you begin to internalize a lot. Okay, when you're going through certain things, you don't call a brother. You know, scripture say do good in communication. So if you're dealing with a situation, you don't want to be around a brother, you don't want to call a brother, what you gonna do? You're gonna internalize, and you're gonna let that spirit eat away at you. That's why, hey, being active and being a part of it is also fellowshipping, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's why you have that saying also, holding up skeletons in your closet. There's all kind of different things that's festering and building in you. You just trying to push it down within inside of you instead of expressing it and getting it out of you. And that spirit eventually destroys you from the inside out. It tells you that Timothy, how the word doth eat as a canker. Because certain men were dealing with certain things internally. They had certain internal viewpoints of the world, but they never expressed it, and they let it basically they laid in it within them, but it was always there.
You never got edified.
They never got edified on it. They never got that spirit rebuked out of them, reproved out of them, and then eventually overthrow their whole setup, man. So just like the brother said, it's one thing to be, do your thing and study and make sure that you actually are in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah, but you also got to apply it, which is walking, which is being amongst brothers, being in congregating, precept. Basically, back what brothers going into. This is
3 John, verse 3, I'll read 4. It says, for I rejoiced greatly when the brethren came and testified of the truth that is in thee, even as thou walkest in the truth. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth. Yeah, so that basically goes to that point, man. Part of walking in the truth is fellowshipping with the brothers, man. All right, that's another component of this walk, man. But according to the precept of basically being a lone wolf, being by yourself. All right, you could get demons on you, man.
Yeah, when you had that situation with even Elijah. Elijah was like all the prophets and the men of the Lord did. Died. I'm the only one that's left. The Lord was like, well, basically, I got 7,000 men that won't bow down to the knees of Baal. So he was already saying in the spirit, I already got a large setup of men that would never break down. But it's all about them being congregated together. Because one thing about the elect, even though you have order and you have a hierarchy of the elect, one man can't be the elect. 3 men can't be the elect. It's 144,000.
Right.
And that's a necessary. Hey, if it was 143,000 and that 1,000 was left, that would be impactful, man. Said 12,000 from each tribe. All those things are spiritual. The Lord doesn't just put these different numbers. He doesn't put that amount there just for any random reason. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a special purpose. So it's the same thing with even brothers in your camp. It's a certain reason why that brother next to you is around you. He's not just there just to pull out a precept or just because he's good on the grill. That's how Jake be thinking. Go with the chicken. We got a chef in the camp, man. Nah, man, that brother, he has a particular gift. He has a spiritual gift, and you got to actually capitalize on it. Even though we all get together and we do these lessons and things of that nature, and that brother's with you in the walk, you gotta study that man. You gotta see how he actually applies to you. What kind of gift that brother actually has that can actually pull out a gift, a significant gift within oneself. Because every brother's not the same, man. This brother may have an aggressive zeal that you need. This brother may have a level of eloquency that he can actually dish out the spirit of the Lord in a certain way. This brother might just be straight internal, but he knows how to endure. He has strong mental stamina when it comes to the faith. This brother might be very, very charitable. This brother may exemplify a large amount of faith. So all those components, you got to take. Let me get a little bit of that. That's time. And that's how you strengthen yourself.
You might have some brothers that got a hard edge that you need to be around. Restore that edge. Because every brother ain't gentle. Every brother. You might have a brother around you that might got a hard exterior. As far as how he act and how he talk to you and how you come off. And if you see yourself, getting a little losing your edge and losing your grip, you can get around him, fellowship with him. That's how I kind of look at the brother Barros. He kind of just got that hard edge. He ain't really on the play. So you get around brothers where you lacking, man. And let the Lord build you up, man. But the body is It's power flowing through this body, man.
Hell yeah.
It's power flowing through all the other churches out there too. It's a particular vibration. It's a particular energy that the Lord is circulating within these particular camps, and you got to be a part of that circuit. You got to attach yourself to that circuit because it's Yahweh Bashim Shai sending down that frequency into that particular body. So you got to attach yourself to that circuit, because otherwise, when you do come around, you're gonna start to see what shortage. Damn, you ain't clicking, bro. You ain't really adding. You just kind of throwing off the spirit.
Yeah.
That's you throwing off the vibration.
Right,
You're throwing off the energy. That's that blockage, that shortage. Because you ain't around. You know, you gotta be in tune with the body. The body grows. The body can outgrow you. So you can come around with it. With the spirit that the camp was in maybe 3 years ago, but the camp that grew past that spirit, and you still in that 3-year-old spirit.
Yeah, we personally witnessed that, man. You know, well, really, the truth as a whole evolves, so to speak. You know, after whether it's months or years. You know, you got some jakes that stay back in that 2014 spirit, man.
Yeah.
You know, we move past that, man. And the Lord always created a scenario, you know, somehow, some way, the Lord created a scenario to have a spotlight on your ass, man. You know, every time.
I had a little bit more. It's Hebrews 10. Hebrews 10:19. It says, "Having therefore, brethren, boldness to enter into the holiness by the blood of Yahweh Shai, by a new and living way, which he had consecrated for us through the veil, that is to say his flesh, and having a high priest over the house of the Most High."
And those are heavy acts that the Lord did. You know, it said we have boldness to enter into the rest, because it's all by the access of Yahweh Shai that consecrated himself through the veil, which is the flesh. Because Yahweh Shai was that high priest after the order of Melchizedek that made us holy through the consecration of himself presenting himself on that altar. Through him actually presenting himself on that altar of wood, so to speak, that cross, you know, we actually have full entry into the kingdom of heaven, but it takes us putting forth our personal sacrifices.
So we got to sacrifice on that same altar, which is Yahweh Shai. He's the sacrifice. So that's why we got to do what? We got to bear our cross. You know, and it got to be in the name of Yahweh Shai. You know, that represents our sacrifice. So we have to get. That's why the scriptures tell you that in Hebrews the 13th chapter, it speaks about what the sacrifice of our lips. Okay, and that ain't just saying it. You know, being playing keyboard kung pao. You know, all on the keyboards and typing. No, man. Confessing with your mouth is going to the highways and byways and doing these videos, man. You know, also doing your prayers, man.
Oh yeah.
Also rebuking a brother. That's confessing the spirit of Yahweh Shai too. When you exhort, you admonish, you reprove. Okay? Those are all the things that help push and promote the spirit of Yahweh Shai onto the next brother in the congregation. Like what the brother Barzal is saying. He was that sacrifice is what consecrated and brought. Basically, that was the adoption. That was a joining. That was when he was officially joined back to the elect, man. You know, so it consecrated that marriage. Now, what has to happen? Ceremony. We're waiting on the ceremony now, man. He calling all the guests so that the wedding can be prepared, and the elect and Yahweh Shai is gonna meet. They're gonna have that ceremony and be fully joined back together, man, in holy matrimony. Okay.
You got more?
Yeah. This verse 22, Hebrews 10:22. It says, "Let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water."
Yep. Sprinkled from an evil conscience. You know, so that's like the brothers basically going into, you know, all the things in the past, you know, all the things that, you know, that you may internalize, like we were talking about the, you know, leaven, you know, it says, read it one more time right there.
All right, it says, "Let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience, and our bodies washed with pure water.
And that's basically being reborn again, you know, and basically, you know, well, being reborn again into Yahushua, the spirit of Yahushua, because he's the one that cleanses the sins of the elect. You know, so you have to put all those worries and cast all those worries behind you and focus on the topic at hand. The spirit at hand.
You know? Casting all your cares upon him because he cared for you. And just like the brother was saying about that evil conscience, because we all do have a naturally evil conscience. You can't run away from your evil conscience. It's in you. It is you. But like it tells you on, they had the same that like a proverb, wise proverb, or a quote on Dr. Strange, the sage or the wise woman. She was speaking about how we never kill our demons. We just learn to live. Yeah, that was a badass quote. You know. So you know, the lady said that we don't kill our demons. We just learn to live above them. It's the same thing with this truth. It's the same notion when it comes to this truth. You don't kill your demons, man. Your demons is a part of it. You know, the natural flesh, which your flesh naturally desires, it's a part of you, but you gotta it get weak. But you always gotta stay in full initiation of with the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, always knowing, nah, I can't follow that path because it tells me in Hebrews, it tells me this in James, it tells me this in Jeremiah, it tells me this in Exodus. All these little precepts and these major precepts, all the precepts, you know, none is greater than the next. All these precepts on a whole, they direct you and they keep you. This truth really puts you in a straitjacket, man. But this flesh it's insane, man. It's psychopathic. It's wild. Like I said, it's desperately wicked. It's in the spirit to do evil. But you got to stay strapped tight, and you know when you kind of go off a straight. That's why you have brothers around you too. Like, bro, you losing it, bro. You know, you're not moving how you're supposed to. That's right. And that's the importance of going back to the point of the lesson, to not lighten up, to tighten up, staying as tight and as geared in as we can as possible, so that we'll be chaste virgins in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushua when he returns. Just a little,
This Hebrews 10:23. Right? It says, "Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. And let us," now I said that earlier, I talked about the promise. You know, because we, through our boldness, our zeal, and us trusting the Lord, we promised that we would uphold our end of the bargain, so to speak. Because this is us, because Yahushua bought us back. He paid with his life. Okay,
his faith is already proven.
You know, he paid with his life and sacrificed himself to buy us back, to bring us into a new covenant, a new contract, a new agreement. That this time we're gonna do the right thing and we ain't going on. You know, and this is and you know, like what the brother was saying. You know, but well, we're in this flesh, we go off. But what washes us? Purification through the word. You know? All right? It says, "For he is faithful that promised, and let us consider one another to provoke." Right. It says, "Let us consider one another." You know? This brother had provoked us to what? Let's get together, let's do a stream. That's the spirit of Yahweh Shai. Let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is.
And the manner of some is, because some men the assembling of themselves together.
And you know what too, if I can say, because the brother runs, I said, yeah, man, you know, we've seen that. So if you start forsaking the assembly, brothers see it. Brothers know. You know, it ain't because it's been seen before. You remember Athaliah? You know, start forsaking the assembly. Next thing you know, he was clean off. You know, you have a pattern. Next thing you know, guys stop showing their face, stop pulling up. You you know it's something, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the spirit always just have brothers just watching, observing.
Because it's a body too. You know,
Mhm.
like you might not think another brother see it, but he do.
Brother see
Sometimes brothers
that.
being sent. You like,
Yep.
it's spiritual section.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you know, brothers be seeing it.
Brother see everything, bro. Because ultimately, what? It's the spirit of Yahweh Shah, because he said the word is a discerning spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got the word in, you know how to discern. It didn't say a wise man's heart discerning both time and judgment.
Yeah.
So you can't even help but see certain things in the spirit. Even though some stuff you might not even want to see,
You gotta take it.
you're gonna see it.
Yeah.
You're going to see it.
That's
Right,
right.
yeah.
You know, you can't unwatch something like you see watch a TV show.
Yeah.
You can't unwatch the show. You see it.
The program, yeah.
Like he's in you. I don't care what you do. You can't unwatch that show.
Okay. It is a little bit more. It says, and let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. And how you show love, you know, by doing the work.
And poking at each other.
That's how you show love. I talked about how you shall know who are his disciples by the love they show to one another. You know, the fact that you see your teachers and you see the apostles and the elders and the brothers, it's clear that brothers have a love for Yahweh Shah, you know, but we just hope that we endure and that we continue to show that love and that he continues, because he's faithful in what he promised us, but we hope that we continue to show that love back. You know,
Right.
It says, yeah, it is one verse like it. It says, verse 25, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching, which is the day of the Lord. The signs in the heavens, we seeing the eclipses. We seeing the sun flashing multiple times in the sky like a big light bulb.
Yeah, bro.
You know, we're seeing the rise and upwards of the people. We're seeing the chariots, man.
One of the worst wildfires in California state history is happening right now.
Yep. Mendocino, I believe it's called Mendocino wildfire.
Yeah, you just had the Iran nuclear deal expire yesterday.
Yep.
Donald Trump put the crunch.
Put the sanctions on today.
Yeah,
It started at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, because they you know, Obama lifted it, and then now it expired, and now Trump get ready to put a hard press on them so they can stop producing that plutonium, man. And that's gonna cause Israel and Iran. And so we seeing this thing, man.
Iran is doing major investments in gold and silver right now for Iranian civilians.
Yep.
Same as that thing that happened with Gaddafi, man. So you know there's about it. But see, the thing is with Iran, when America tries to deal with Iran in that matter, it's gonna cause Syria to get involved, man. I mean, not Syria, but Russia and Israel. Once Israel get involved with Iran, that's pretty much it, man.
One's fully locked.
Those are both of the direct contacts for the superpowers.
Right.
America deals with Israel, and Russia deals with Iran. Because this ain't nothing but what's happening with America and Iran right now. This is nothing but Greece versus Persia all over again.
Right.
Elam always had beef with Esau.
Same.
Elam always had beef with Esau, man, and they know this history. And one thing about it, you better believe that you know, these Iranian prime ministers and governors, they understand that they went to war with the Greeks. They know that in history.
I got a good point.
Oh yeah, of course.
The leader said it. He said we've had our empire. We are a country basically. He said they know their history. That we've always been Persian. We've always been You know, we've always been us, man. So basically, what he said was, whatever the U.S. is saying, we're going to overcome it. You know, whatever they're trying to do, they're going to overcome it. And the people there, they believe in it.
Yeah, because the Persians was never a lightweight nation.
Yeah.
When they went to war with Greece, man, they had 127 provinces, man. Elam wasn't no lightweights, man. Esau knew it, man. You know, they had crazy. Their armies was in order. intact. You know, they had precise procedures as far as their military. It was just prophecy that they had to go down.
Yeah.
You know, but really Elam and Esau got ancient beef too.
Yeah.
You know, they've always had that hatred for one another, just like Jacob and Esau, man. Elam and Esau too. You know, Elam doesn't like Esau, man. You know, he hates his guts, man. You know.
Yeah, but that.
I have one. This is Titus chapter 2, in verse 6. Young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded. In all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works.
It's all about that pattern, man. A pattern of good works. Paul wouldn't have wrote that if it wasn't important. And a pattern is something you go by to show who you are. Pattern show you truly who you are, man. Consistency. You know, if you constantly eat at this restaurant every Tuesday, you know, that shows you that you like the restaurant. Why the hell would you hate a restaurant if you're always there eating particular dishes and things of that nature? You know?
Right.
So the pattern of good works shows that it's in you to do good. You have good intent. You have certain things that the Lord is actually looking for due to your actions. All right, so it's all about the actions that you partake in, showing that you really want it. And while Yahweh shot through his angels, has a scope on each and every one of us, this, like the brother said earlier, trying the hearts of the rain to see if we really want the kingdom of heaven or not. Your actions show really if you really want the kingdom or not. If you want the kingdom, you're not going to be dallying all in these streets of these different cities, goddamn parading and indulging in the festivities of America.
Yeah, that ain't what we're supposed to do.
You're gonna wait like a man of the Lord should. You're gonna be like, nah, man, this ain't good enough for me. This place is not even worthy of me. I know something that's bigger. I have access to something that's greater, and all I have to do is stay in the spirit and separate myself from the things of this world, and I'll get a world that's greater that I'll be able to dominate. I won't be taxed in. I won't be seduced in. I won't be bribed or tricked.
I won't have to worry about losing my life.
Yeah.
You know, none of that.
So it's like, why not fight in this, man? Why not show a pattern of good works in this instead of showing always a pattern in the things of the world, man? You want to say something?
I had a quick thing.
I'm just finishing. Okay, just a little bit left. All right, it says in doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity, sound speech that cannot be condemned. See, so we're supposed to have sound speech that can't be condemned. That's why brothers been doing these videos, going into just edify, preach the word, man. You got to get up the personal attack vibration, man. Yeah. You know, when so-called white man come by, you just, you know, cracking. Man, let that cracker go by his day, man.
Real quick, by sliding real quick. That's an example when we talk about just a second ago about how spirit shit. Yeah, that would be a spirit, you know, going hard. You know, that hoorah spirit. Yeah, let's call it now. Spirit is singling on, hey man, just edify, man. You know, that's an example. And you got some guys, they still had that spirit, and they got choked out, man. Yeah, right. You know.
And then it says sound speech that cannot be condemned. See, don't the scripture say, "Whoso pleases the Lord, he will even make his enemy to be at peace with you"? So we got so much. We have so much of the spirit in our possession right now that we can make an Edomite agree with us.
Yeah.
Just as Yahushua convinced Pontius Pilate.
Paul.
Yeah. You see, Claudius Caesar wanted to be a Jew.
He's
convinced by Daniel.
Yeah. You see, you had Joseph. Was received by the Egyptians. You see, and we're not saying that we want to be received by the Edomites. We're just saying that, hey, this word is solid. It can't be penetrated. We don't have to get on personal attacks and, you know, start, you know, going all crazy on the black woman. Man, the hell with the black woman, man. She just played out. She comes just hit him with facts.
And you put her energy.
Yeah, it's sound speech that cannot be condemned, man. But that's what they're doing. I'm gonna just finish this up and I'm gonna throw it right to Zalman. It says that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you. So it's saying that the contrary part, the evil man, will be ashamed, and the evil man won't even have no evil to say about us, man. We show that pattern of good works with soundness, gravity, sincerity, sound speech that can't be condemned. It's gonna even make the wicked even say, you know what, they not terrorists.
Just like
just
like Pontius Pilate.
These are peaceable people. Yeah, Pontius Pilate.
Yeah, just like Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate said, "Well, look, the blood on your hands."
Yeah, he said, "This is a just man."
Yeah, I'm just living.
He said, let the blood be on you. Hey, is that not the spirit of Yahweh Shai?
Yeah.
He condemned. He condemned the wicked with what? With sound speech, with sincerity, with gravity, and with a pattern of good works. We can do the same thing in the spirit, but we have to do what? We have to hold fast to the instruction and actually utilize it. All right, we can't get into like Elder Ariella was saying that, you know, Jake want to push themselves too much. So sometimes it be too much self glorification.
Right.
That you want to be that brother, like, yeah, I cussed that devil out. Which, hey, it make you feel good because you on the Lord, but that ain't what it's about. You know, it's about edifying. Man. It's about being able to properly go into this word and break it down to where a baby can understand it, man. Even if he can tell you, even the contrary will be ashamed and will have no evil to say. This is written up in the scriptures, man. So that means what? The Lord is he's switching that gear into what? Into that next mode. Okay, just the same thing happened with the apostles when they got locked up for 9/11. What happened? The so-called Amalekite came to their defense.
Yeah.
Why is that? Where's that word, man? The word is right. You know, coach, y'all got it.
I was just gonna say, shoot. Well, on that note, just to make a quick point, like Scripture says in the prophecies, we're gonna go to the gates of the nobles. We can't be going to the gates of the nobles, going to the Rothschilds and Rockefellers. Talk about you got that now, man. We're gonna. Yahweh Shai didn't show that example.
Right.
Scripture talks about in the prophecy where it says, before the shearers, he was deaf and dumb. Then the spirit, then the spirit came upon him, and he spake what he said. You know,
Wise man hold his tongue.
Yep. I think Pilate had said something to Yahweh Shai. He says, "Thou sayest." You know, Yahweh Shai said, "Think not, what you shall say, but in that hour it shall be given you of the Holy Spirit what you shall say." So the Lord is prepping us now. We're getting ready to shift to that spirit to where what we say is from His words.
That's right.
You know,
and that's why, going back to the initials of the lesson, tightening up. This still goes along the lines. Even being convicted and different things of that nature coming through representing the Lord, you still gotta be on your you gotta still be in the wisdom of the Lord when you're going through these situations. Now the brother said, Yahweh Shai appeared before the shearers deaf and dumb, because that's chess, man. One thing about positioning and warfare, and one thing about moves in warfare, your first move can dictate the whole layout. So when you're in certain situations, you can't just be going berserk, throwing out everything, because that's showing you that you don't even have any self-control, man. Your self-control is dictated by the words that you actually push out. Sometimes you don't have to push out a lot of words, man. Right? Be a few a few speech. Listen and observe what the individual on the opposing end is trying to, what kind of net he's trying to cast before you. You got to know the stages of warfare always at all times, so that you won't get caught by the guises of the devil. And you had some more. Are you good?
This was a precept. This is Ezekiel 3:25. It says, "But thou, O son of man, behold." Now this happened to Ezekiel, but like I just mentioned about us going to the gates of the nobles, this is the same thing that's going to happen to us, in the times to come. Some of us, it's still prophecy. It says, "But thou, son of man, behold, they shall put bands upon thee, and shall bind thee with them, and thou shalt not go out among them. And I will make thy tongue cleave to thy roof, cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb."
You got that zip.
It says, "It shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house." Now, this is him speaking about Ezekiel going to Israel, because Israel was so rebellious at that time that even Ezekiel couldn't speak. Okay, so how much more in these days and times the elite, like Scripture says, a deaf adder. Esau's a deaf adder.
It speaks about also how the priest shall keep silent in that day, knowing that it's an evil time. So we know the times, and we know that even what we say can even either redeem us or condemn us.
Yeah, make or break us.
Make or break us. So we have to be dictated solely off of the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, and we can't rely on self-emotions, self-grudges, and things of that nature. Still being in that young mentality. That the thing is, we are young lions. We still got that aggression. We still have that ferociousness in us. But what the difference between the young lion and the old lion is because the old lion is more calculative, so to speak. They make power moves, so to speak. Young lions want to show that they got power on the whole, man.
They hunt smarter, not harder.
That's exactly what it is. They know how to actually expand their pride, and they know how to make more effective moves than just moving spot for spot, doing all this extra movements that exhaust energy.
Right.
Energy, just like the brother said, time is the most effective thing that we have in these times, and we got to calculate every move to a T in these times, man.
I said, even that time, man.
Yeah. Beautiful, man. We got to think like generals, man. We got to have spiritual strategy, because the Bible is a book of strategy.
Yeah.
Certain men actually use certain scriptures out of season. So it's all about now is the time to use this. Now this scripture applies in this situation.
Right.
This scripture applies in this situation. This is the season. Now I can't use that scripture. That's not the right wisdom right here. That doesn't apply right now. This applies right now. And those things are important because, like we said earlier, it either makes or breaks you. But you are.
Yeah, that's where the precepts come in handy. That's what King David was talking about when you read Psalm 119. Okay, when you ask how about Yahweh Shai to guide him through his precepts. Okay, that's that's how you move. That's how this precept is true, but I can't use it there. I'm gonna use it there. So there's times to be able to speak, but there's times to be quiet. It's times when the spirit have you, like brother said, when he's probably gonna keep silence, but then there's gonna be a time to go hard. And this is what the spirit is training us for the next level to be able to do. That wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. Okay? So this is Ezekiel 3:26. It says, "And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. But," that's verse 27, "but when I speak with thee, I will open thy mouth, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. He that heareth, let him hear, and he that forbeareth, let him forbear, for they are a rebellious house." So there's a time when the Lord is going to and that's why the feminine word is going to be so potent, because there's going to be a time where we're going to not necessarily be dumb, physically speaking per se, but it's going to be a time where we're not going to be able to set the laptops and the cameras up and live stream or record or edify, day to day. There's going to be a time when he's going to pull us back, all right, and we're going to be assembling ourselves amongst each other. And then the Spirit of the Lord is going to do what it has to do as a standard for us to perform His miracles, man. That's going to come, okay? Because they're going to come. This whole thing with vocab Malone and coming to this camp and making mockery, the Lord's going to deal with that, okay? We're to just teach and reason being for just what the brother was saying a little bit earlier about not being in that hoorah spirit. You know, can't be in that hoorah spirit, man. Them brothers, hey, I tell you what, you know, when Bocat did that video and he came to IUIC didn't get belligerent. You know, they was trying to overtalk him and this and that, but they were, you know, they did keep order, you know. So we should be how much more us? You know, how much more us?
All right,
you know.
You got some more on that, or you good?
That was the scriptures I have.
What brother got? Probably about a couple more verses.
Come. I'm back in Hebrews, right? This is Hebrews 3 and 13. I'll read 13 again. It says, but exhort one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. For we are made partakers of Yahushua, if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast to the end.
See, we are made partakers of Yahushua. If, that's the key word, if we hold. Can you go read it over?
It says, verse 14, for we are made partakers of Yahushua, if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast until the end.
Right, and the reason why each and every one of us came into this thing is all through our confidence, which is our faith, right? And we got to hold it steadfast. We got to keep the roots deeply rooted until the end. Right. And a lot of men get uprooted. A lot of men, they lose the oil, they lose the water, they get shipwrecked. Paul, Yahushua, the disciples, they spoke. It was a lot of situations where men actually, even kings in Israel, they actually walked righteously before the Lord, and then they strayed off and started serving idols, man.
Yeah, that's why it's good to say put on the whole armor.
Yeah, that's right, bro.
Because if you don't have that armor fully girded, you don't got the breastplate, the head shield, the sword, the feet shod with the preparation of truth, you got vulnerabilities. You know, you got your Achilles heel open, so to speak.
Chinks in your armor.
Chinks in your armor. Yeah. That's easy work, man, for the spiritual demon to say. Because one thing about this warfare, Satan is not a light enemy, man. Satan hits you where it hurts. And he hits you through openings. He's not going to hit you where you're strong at. He's going to hit you where you're weak at. So you got to leverage your strengths and intensify your weaknesses. Know where you're weak at. Know you're weak in faith.
Make your weaknesses your strength.
And turn your weaknesses into your greatest strengths. That's what it's about.
If I could say something too, and sometimes too, when Satan strikes, sometimes he's going to hit you. But you heal yourself with the word. You see? Now, you leave that wound undressed, you allow what? You allow it to get infected. And then you have to, you end up what? You have to be removed and cut off from the rest of the body. You know, so Satan will attack certain points, certain of your low points. You're gonna get hit in the truth. Yeah, you know, you know, you ain't gonna block every advance. You know, Satan gonna hit you, you're gonna have to get reproved, or you know, you might have to get suspended or removed for a certain period due to you know, penetration. But how do you heal that wound? That's the question. Yeah. You got to go back to the scripture. You got to get into the word. You got to heal. You got to heal that wound. And sometimes it takes time to heal a wound. You know, but you got to, now if you leave, like I said, you leave that wound undressed. You don't put the proper oil, because how do you heal a wound? You put oil on it. Yeah, bombs. Right. So this is not this scripture made reference as what? Oil. You know, this is the medicine of life.
The eye salve.
The eye salve, baby. So if you don't dress that gash, so to speak, that Satan tries to deliver, then you end up being overtaken, man. You know, so like what the brother's saying, you know, have your spirit girded. But hey, let's say Satan do find a chick and he, you know, get an incision in there, you gotta heal it. You know, you can't leave that wound undressed, man, and let the rest of the infection come. But then you're gonna have more problems on your hand. That's when it says what? The demons come back and they bring 7 more, man. That's the infections scripture.
Right, bro.
You get infected, man. You know, you go from, you know, having, you know, an illness to now you got an infection.
Yeah.
And infections are hard to cure, man.
Right.
They get embedded into your tissue. They get into your blood.
Bone marrow.
Infections go deep, man. And sometimes they say, you know what, it's infected so bad that we're gonna have to just go ahead and amputate this part. Get cancer. You know, that's why the scripture says, if your right hand offend thee, cut it off.
That's right.
You know, so hey, we gotta take consideration, you know, as far as how we walking and move with accuracy, move with diligence. And you're gonna have some brothers that don't read as much as other brothers. It's not an excuse, but you're gonna have some brothers that they may not read as they should, but they charity. They faithful. You know, the scripture say charity covers the multitude of sins. So it's all about how you putting back into the word. You know, it's all about how you still giving according to your portion. You know, because you might have a brother that go through a low spell and he might read, but you might have a brother that go through a low spell and he just be around all the time. You want to fellowship, you want to go out and eat, you want to do lessons. You know, he get into the spirit of praying. You have some brothers that's getting through just through prayer.
That's right, bro.
You know,
whatever is your coping mechanism.
That's right.
You know,
you got to dig into it. But that's where your spirit is at. That's where that seed of faith is blossoming, and whatever the Lord planted in your spirit.
That's right, bro.
That gift that the Lord gave. Neglect not the gift that is in you. Everybody doesn't have. It's hundreds of gifts that come to this ministry.
Yeah, everybody's gift ain't the same. You know, you're gonna have some brother, he get low, he might get into the spirit of fasting.
Right.
The next brother may read. So who's to say? You know, you probably should have read. No, just get in the spirit of it. You know, some brothers they might not read, they might not fast, but they might get around the brothers and do videos. You know, they might give charity. They may give charity. Hey, brother, I pay for everything, bro. Just come through. You know, you healing that wound. You know, some brother might get into the Hebrew. Whatever it is that the Lord planted, get into it. Get into it and build it. Build upon it so that when Satan really start throwing a haven of darts, you know, it really ain't no room for error, man. You know, he can't get in nowhere. You know, but that's all.
I'm sure about so much faith. It's so deeply rooted by the goodwill and the good grace of the things that the Lord been putting in your spirit. That it's like no way you can be pulled out of the tracks.
That's right. And that's why me and the right side, we did that lesson last week, and the scripture say, above all, taking the shield of faith. Because let's say, and I made the analogy. Well, let's say you lose your sword on the battlefield. You use your knee shin guard. Let's say you lose your helmet and you're still on the battlefield. You can still get through it with that shield, though. Because now you just got to block everything. But you can still get through the war with that shield. That's faith.
They always teach you in warfare, boxing. One major thing is your defenses should be really stronger than your attack. Your attack is very, very important, but you don't want to be a strong attacker and a weak defender. Because sometimes you have to go on defense. You might have to play the corners. And when you play in the corners, that's what shows, man, how you can actually defend yourself, how you can evade, how can you endure. So that's what it's about. The Lord's not, this ain't a hack and slash game, man. Oh, no. Where you just cut it, just slice. Nah, man, you gotta use that shield, man. Block. Jake don't like blocking though. You know, you play them video games and stuff like that. Jake's like, hit, pressing the X button.
Mashing buttons.
You got dodge, roll, jump,
I gotta use all those little tools, man. We're gonna end up with a couple more scriptures and we are.
I got something.
Well,
oh, wait, have you got something?
Oh yeah, he got it.
Now, this is verse 15. It says, while it is said, today, if ye will hear his voice, harden not your hearts, as in the provocation.
We hear the voice of the Lord through his word. So we can't harden our hearts. We have to be always open-minded to reproof, rebukes, counsel, exhortation. With the next man around you might have to tell you, man. This isn't a thing where I got it. Because we don't have it, man. Scripture says, if any man think if he know of anything, he know nothing as he ought to know. If you was perfect in this thing, you would have got translated by now. You know, most I would have had you like Elijah, Enoch was perfect before the Lord. His mission was done.
And Elijah knew he was about to get translated.
Yeah.
He told Elisha, like, he was like, the Lord, he said, you know that the Lord power had sought to take me away today. So Elisha told him, he said, yeah. He said, yeah, hold your peace. I think he said, hold your peace You know, so Elijah knew.
He already knew what time it was.
That's a whole other level.
That's a level. He was the greatest amongst the prophets.
Yep.
You know, Yahushua, he was so great that he didn't even have to come back and go through certain things, man. He said it is finished.
Yeah.
So we don't have the luxury of you know, those things, so to speak. You know, we're building our faith. You know, we're still trying to correct past sins, past foolish acts, child's acts, and different young mistakes that we made in our past lives. We still trying to clean those things up in this lifetime. But we're willing. That's the point of it. We're willing to do these things. We're willing to walk this track of faith without bucking up, without trying to ostracize ourselves from the congregation. We want the kingdom of heaven, man. Right. You know, keep going.
It says, for some, when they had heard, did provoke. Howbeit, not all that came out of Egypt by Moses.
Keep going.
But with whom was he grieved 40 years?
My niggas. Keep going.
Was it not with them that have sinned, whose carcasses fell in the wilderness?
Keep going.
And to whom swear he that they should not enter into his rest, but to them that believe not. So we see that they could not enter in because of unbelief.
Right. And just read that last Hebrews 4:1.
Now it says, let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it.
Right, so that's the main point. That's how Paul mainly concluded the matter, to fear. Because the ones that didn't fear in Egypt, they provoked Moses, they provoked Aaron, they provoked Miriam, they provoked the Lord, they followed idols, they talk shit, they scoff, and the end result, the Lord choked off basically hundreds of Jakes, you know, and he made it where they wasn't even allowed to even see the promised land, man. So our main job is to fear the Lord so we don't fall short, man. You don't never want to get to see the finish line and not be able to make it, man. That's the worst of feelings.
We can see it now.
Yeah, and we can see it.
But the scripture tells us to measure the times. We can see it. We can see it. This thing is close.
That's right.
And it's like, here it is, it's a 3-mile run, but you got 2 miles in your gauge. You know, 2-mile reserves in your gauge. Anything over 2 miles, you're gonna drop. You know, you don't never want to be like that. Right. You want to have more than enough fuel to make it to the finish line. You want to have enough fuel and more than enough fuel so that you can actually pump the man beside you. If that man falls, you can give him a spare, so to speak. You know, we on that racing with the racing and things of that nature where they that derby. You know, the marathon race. Yeah. You know, we have the marathon is spiritual too, because you know you have the batons, man. Yeah. You know, and when you go into that word athlete, it goes into the word the Greek word athleticos, which means to compete for a prize. We're spiritual athletes in this thing, man. Conditioning and bodybuilding ourselves with the weight of the word. You know, constantly exhorting ourselves so that we can get that spiritual golden torch, which is really the kingdom of heaven, that light, that projected light, and we'll be able to, and really the crown. That's the crown. Right. But you can go ahead, bro. We'll close.
All right, Connie. This is Hebrews 4:14. It says, seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Yahushua, the Son of Yahweh the Most High, let us hold fast our profession. For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, because Yahushua, he's been there. He understands. He knows that we, fall short of certain things. That's why he says, "Follow me, because my yoke is easy, my burden is light." But nevertheless, he said, "Be ye perfect, as your Father in heaven is perfect." Because he understands where we are, but he also understands where we need to be and where we're going. Right? So it says, "For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. In our time of need, trust and believe if we do this, Yahweh Bashar Shah will be there right there.
That's right.
That's right.
Every time.
That's right.
Every time.
Every time, bro.
Yeah, that's you good with that? Yeah, you want to close it? But yeah, that's all we have for you. Hopefully, you brothers was edified. I want to end it by giving all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, Maki.
Shalom.